Select the one word or phrase that needs to be used in place of the underlined text to make the sentence correct, or indicate that the underlined text is not in error. One of the biggest positives of belonging to a trade union is workers' ability to negotiate better conditions in their place of work. Before looking at our choices, let's see if we can find an error in the underlined phrase. Apostrophes can seem tricky, but once the rules are understood, we can see they're quite simple. Let's take a minute to quickly review the rules of apostrophes. Let's take the common noun cat. We add an apostrophe s to show we're talking about something that belongs to the cat. For example, the cat's milk. But what if we're talking about something that belongs to multiple cats? Then we already have an s at the end of the word. In that case, we simply add an apostrophe after the s, with no additional s following it. The cat's milk. Using this method, it's easy to see if we're talking about a singular or plural subject. With this in mind, let's take a look at our sentence and our word's apostrophe placement. One of the biggest positives of belonging to a trade union is workers' ability to negotiate better conditions. Because we see the apostrophe following the s in workers, we simply need to ask, is this sentence discussing the ability of one particular worker or many workers? We can see we're talking about workers in a trade union, and because it simply says workers and not the worker, we can understand that we're not talking about one specific worker, but rather workers in general. That being the case, it would be appropriate to talk about them in the plural. Now that we've established that we're discussing workers in the plural, and we can see that the sentence is discussing something that belongs to these workers, the ability, we can see that the current structure, workers, followed by an apostrophe to show possession, is correct. Based on this, we can head down and mark A, no error, as our final answer.